Good morning, Flosstube. Happy Tuesday, May 8th, 8th day of mania, for those of you taking part. I'm laughing because I just realized, like, my hair is huge today. For me, my hair is huge. I'm overdue for an appointment we had to cancel last week. If you have short hair, you appreciate the fact that when you're a week or two overdue, it's like unruly. And mine has reached unruly stage. How is everyone? It's beautiful here. There goes the cat. She'll be back. The door's open. The birds are out. We finally have some really nice weather. We've been outside trying to get grass back on the lawn. We have a terrible time growing grass here. Our soil is very sandy and it's just not conducive to life sometimes. Working in the flower gardens, playing ball outside, just really starting to be able to appreciate being outdoors again, which is always nice, always nice. In the spare time, I've been stitching. I have quite a bit to show today. Keeping up on things, did a little finishing, so I will jump in. I have one FO. I don't know if I'm going to need something behind this. This is 11sies by Fiddlesticks AU. So that's all done. I know I don't have a lot of space. It will fit in an 8.5 by 11, but I think I'm going to make a wall hanging. This is on a piece of slate from Hand Dyed by Stephanie. I had this little half of a fat 8th left and thought I wanted to use that up and it would be perfect for that. The only thing I changed on here, I just added some blue. This was a different color green, so I thought I just wanted a little blue on there. There they go. Camera must be on. So that one is done. This is going on the nerd wall, which is getting a lot of love. So we'll talk about the nerd wall in a little bit. So that one is done. And then last week I showed you, I had finished. Can you hear her? She found a mouse and now she's going crazy. Last week I finished this one. This is a Sue Hillis. It's a complimentary chart. It says it's from 2004. I can't find it anywhere. I had found this on Stash Unload, and when the person realized it was a complimentary chart, they had just sent it to me. I'm wondering if you email Sue Hillis. She has a lot of freebies on her website, if maybe she would add this to, or re-release, or make it available, because I've had quite a few people ask about this chart. So I did finish that, fully finish, and that's the first one that I've been able to use my big stand that I got at Michael's. So I found, this was just a fat quarter at, oh, I just made it all crooked. Right at Joann's, and the colors were perfect. It's crooked, it's fine, it's just for me. I should have pinned it, but I didn't. I didn't have any sticky boards, so it's kind of hot glued and all that, so I could have adjusted it a little more. It's kind of this way, but that's gonna live on this buffet in the summertime. So that one's done. I have a lot of things and not a lot of space today, so that's going to be an issue. So this last 2 weeks, I needed to catch up on the 2 sals that I'm in. So the Into the Jungle is Frosted Pumpkin, and this month was the Alligator, so he's all done. And then I kept this on the Q-Snap because my plan is to just kind of work on the borders. I have one more row of boxes, and then there's a bottom border with leaves. So I thought I should try and just little by little get that worked on. And I fully caught up, and I didn't iron this one, so wrinkly, on the Guardians of Notre Dame. So this one I just started in March, so it didn't take that long to catch up. If you haven't started it yet and you're interested, you could easily catch up. This is on that fabric. It's Banshee by Hand Dyed by Stephanie. Mine's an Ada. I'm sure it dyes different on linens. So I'm filling in the border as I go along. This was the May Guardian. So that one will get tucked away until next month, because from here on it shouldn't be bad. Like, I should just, you know, a couple days to put the new Guardian in. There she goes. They've been so glad that the windows have been open, the doors. One of our cats is outside, so he goes in and out, but the girls will stay in. We're not really in a perfect location for an outdoor cat, but River could not be contained. When we got him from the shelter, he obviously had been outside, and there was no way that was not continuing. And he let us hear about it until he got to go outside. So he goes out and they watch him. And they watch birds and the chickadees and the squirrels. So they're loving it. New starts. I have a tiny new start. Oh, I didn't bring the chart down. This is Land That I Love. It's a little tiny one from Heart and Hand. And I know it's very small, but I have very small finishing plans for this. So those are mostly the called fors. I did sub out some overdyes. I mean, they're so small, it wasn't really worth it for all of them. So the ones that I thought it would show up, I subbed out. And I apologize for not bringing that chart down. My next new start, this one I'm super excited about, because I don't know if you remember, if you've watched some previous videos. Last year when I worked on the Nintendo Stitch Along, Armada Designs, we wanted to make, it was supposed to be a surprise for my husband and my son. But I realized I didn't play Nintendo. I don't know what should be in there and what shouldn't be in there and how he wants things tweaked. So I pulled my husband in on it, and as the month went on, he kind of would tweak a couple things or add some things. And then he full on designed 3 blocks, at least 2 blocks, maybe 3 blocks. And he loves it, all finished and hanging. And he really thought, well, what he said, if I design one for Super Nintendo, would you stitch it? I said, yeah, of course I would. You know, Super Nintendo has a lot more colors, and, you know, the graphics are a little more intense. So I knew it would be a major process just to design it. And then we were thinking about different things to do. And one of his favorite games, and my son's favorite games, is Final Fantasy, the whole Final Fantasy series. And they've been replaying some of the really ancient ones. And they love the music. And my husband plays piano. So I said, well, what if you did like a song from Final Fantasy, and you charted out a song and you put like one of the characters on it, you know, whatever. So we loved that idea. When we were in Florida, he said, I'm going to get that done while you're gone. Okay. And he did. So I'll show you my start. So that's my little start so far. This is on, page just went away. This is on Color and Cotton Spectre, which was the new, here's my haul. This came in, and then I immediately put it to use. So that's the May fabric of the month. My Q-snap cover is not really meant for that size, but. So that's my start. Here is, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see, and I can show you the pattern because it's his. So this is the Chocobo song. So he's got his his yellow chocobos up top. The bottom ones are called, I think they're black chocobos, but they're pink. They're like a purpley pink. So I'm working on this just a little at a time. This would have been the perfect project to do on like a Lugana, an even weave, because there's 1,000 half stitches. But I'm not liking working on that fabric. So I did it on Ada, and I'll just make all my half stitches, and they're fine. It just takes a little more time, and I needed a really sharp needle. I don't know if that's going to focus. So there's the Chocobo song. So this will be great. We're really enjoying watching that come together. So the Chocobos and the Nintendo, those are on the nerd wall. And the nerd wall is getting a lot of love. People want to see the nerd wall. The nerd wall's all in my head at this point. So we have a room above the garage, which is like our family room. That's where we spend most of our time. And it has a big L-shaped wall behind the couch and then a little bit by a window. So that's where we have the Nintendo piece hanging. And right now I have a giant Princess Bride poster hanging. And I said, well, I could take that poster down and we'd have a whole wall behind the couch, so couch-sized wall, that we could put all the cross stitches that don't really fit anywhere else in the house. You know, they're not something you want necessarily in your dining room or, you know, I don't know. So that's the nerd wall. So we're going to put all our nerd stitches there. So Nintendo is there. The Chocobos will go there. Into the Jungle will probably go there. Guardians may go there. I don't know. And it will probably be the end of the year before we even hang anything up, because I don't want to hang one 8x10 on this giant space. You know, I need to have enough done to make it look full. So these were two other things that I already have that will be moving to the nerd wall. And these have glass, so they're going to be tricky. So this is mini Harry Potter. I apologize, I can't really tip it anymore. Maybe if I go this way. This is mini Harry Potter. It's by Wee Little Stitches. This is on Murky. I had, not Murky, Monster Mash. I said I had gotten a piece at the store in Florida, and I had already done a piece on Monster Mash. And this is the one. Someone had asked to see it. Here it is. This will need a better frame if it's going on the wall. Right now it's on the bookshelf, so it needs kind of a little skinny frame. And then my other piece that's all done is also from Wee Little Stitches. And this is the Princess Bride. This is one, like, this is fabric. I did a lot of these where I mounted it with fabric to kind of give it a little color. This one I know is still available. For some reason, last time I looked on there, all of her Harry Potters were no longer available. I don't know why she took them down. I don't know if they're just down for now. And if you're interested in one, if you could just email her and she might have it. But it's worth checking if you were interested. I have like all of them. I have a whole file of my Wee Little Stitches designs. When I got back into stitching kind of a lot more, you know, I started when I was a lot younger, and then I had a time where I wasn't doing as much. She was one of the first Etsy, she might have been the first Etsy pattern seller I found. And she had this tutorial on, you know, getting the different colors of fabric, because I didn't know that you could buy them. You painted them. So you could use acrylic paint and some kind of liquid stuff that makes it work on fabric. So that particular one is not, that's on a light blue, but I have painted fabric in all these earthy tones to make the colors stand out. So I would much rather buy my hand-dyed fabric or dye my own hand-dyed fabric, because it's a lot less of a process than painting my fabric. So that's Nerd Wall. The plan is kind of, as this year goes on, I'll have a Nerd Wall piece going along with, you know, some smalls, but to kind of always have one going. And then by the end of the year, we should have enough that we can at least get the middle of the wall kind of covered, and then it can just expand over the years in the future. And he still may want to design his own giant Super Nintendo one. I'm not sure. If he does, I will happily stitch it. So the other thing I have to show you guys that I'm really excited about, I had mentioned a couple videos ago that I have a friend who does really amazing things with wood, and that she was making me, it's not a dough bowl, but a smalls bowl. And I hadn't had a chance to see her, but I did, and I picked it up. So Here it is. So what she does, it's a little darker spot, she electrocutes the wood. Big old welder gloves, like she electrocutes the wood and it makes these cool, really, really cool patterns. This looks huge, but it's really, it's not that big. So now I have to fill it up. So, and she left it blank. She knew that I wanted it for stitching. So she said I didn't do anything on the inside in case like something would catch. She thought I wanted it for like loose floss and things. Nothing, if she had done the inside, nothing would have caught, but I love it as is. So now I really need to work on some smalls so I can put them in here. So I kitted up Prairie Schooler Sunny Days. So I'll hopefully start those after I finish that Land That I Love. The same day that I got this from my friend Lucy, Plum Street showed off their new animal designs, the stacks. You know those are going in here. So Julie, I messaged Julie right away and I'm like, are you getting those Gulf Coast stitches? Are those coming in? Put my name on them, PayPal me when they come in. So she's going to, and then when I get to it, they'll go in here. So I'm really excited. Now, she has an Etsy store, which I'll put a link to. She doesn't have everything that she does on the store because she does a lot of just regular craft shows. So right now she's super busy trying to build up her stock for her craft shows. But if you were interested in something specific, just shoot her a message and ask. I don't know if she has any more of this shape. I know she has some beautiful regular bowls, more egg-shaped bowls. She's been doing a lot of cutting boards. They might work as like a horn book if she has one with the hanging hole in it. But her stuff is really cool. So if you want to check her out, 12,000 Volts is the name of her company. And I'll put some links below if you want to check her out. And she's just now putting stuff on Etsy, so I don't know what's up on her site. That's about it for stuff to show. I've been watching a lot of videos. Everyone's doing their Stitch Manias, and it's just making my 1, 2, 3 wish list expand. But as you see, I didn't get any charts this week, so that's good. So that's growing. And then I've watched a couple people that are new to me, a couple people that just had some really cool things this week that I thought I'd mention. Jeannie Schwartz, she was new to me. She's new to Flosstube. She has 4 or 5 videos up. She's doing Mania for the first time, and she has some really good starts going and a good method for working on them. You know, Mania is not for me, as I've mentioned. I don't like having that much going at once, but her method, I could actually get on board with. Christine, Stitch All the Things. I hadn't watched her before this week. I don't know where I've been with that one. Emmy, don't. She's right here. She's dying on my stuff. Prowling on my stuff. Christine, Stitch All the Things. She's a great storyteller. I could listen to her all day, even if she's not talking about stitching, because she does a lot of quilting and other crafts too. Vintage Stitches, Elizabeth, I've been watching her right along. But this week, she showed her in her last video, she did the Hear a Peep, the Brenda Gervais, but she squared it off, and it looks really, really cool. She had it framed or framed it herself, I'm not sure, and it looks really nice. And then Heather Moore I've been watching, and she showed off some finishes in her last video, and she had a couple of really, really creative ones. So I'll put links to those guys down below. I think that's it. Plans. What are my plans? I'm caught up on my sales, so I have a couple weeks. I want to work on the chocobos and that small Land That I Love. And I think when I finish Land That I Love, I'll work on something for my bowl so that I can get that out. I'm really surprised Basket Cat has not become Bowl Cat. I think it's a little skinny for her tiny butt to fit in that bowl. I'm surprised she hasn't tried though. Or it might smell funny from the burning, but she hasn't been in it. She's just been in her basket. So that's about it, you guys. 20 minutes is about my average. I hope you're all having a good week. keep going with your mania. Thanks for all the videos to watch, keeping me company in the evenings. That's all. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.